happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. It's another episode of Fight Talk. Two brothers across the world ready to talk about some fights, and we had a big fight card, UFC 300 to talk about and unravel and just geek out about, just get excited about. Guys, yes, we are a little bit late. I apologize. I was traveling, so I just got back to Dubai, so we had the opportunity to now do this, but still wanted to give our thoughts out there. And guys, do check the description if you want to get straight into the fight talk. Check the description, it'll be there, so you don't have to hear us or what we've been up to and whatnot. I think we're going to get straight to the fights anyway, just because this was a long, we have to cover every single one of the fights. So I kind of think we should just get straight into the fights, bro, because every single one of these fights, from the first fight on the prelim all the way to the end, is a headlining fight, be it a fight night or a main UFC event. They all were in the range of being a headline fight. So should we just get into the fights? Let's just do it.
No argument for
Well,
losing,
look,
man. Let's go.
UFC 300 happens to be one of the best cards ever, I have to say. Just the excitement, trying to watch it was such a mission. I can't believe I was on vacation at the time. My fight pass, all that stuff I was robbed by the UFC. I'm saying it straight. Whoever owns it, be it UFC, whether they robbed me, right? But I ended up subscribing to another platform to end up watching it. But I've been robbed by them twice now. Once when I moved from Singapore to Dubai, my account didn't work, so I had to lose out on money then. And then now again, they discontinued UFC Arabia, and I still had like 7 months on my account, so they robbed me again. But then they steal my money because I love the content, I love the UFC, I'm a fan of the product, I want to watch these fights. So I ended up subscribing again to another platform because I want to watch them. So they have me. They listen, man, the UFC brand has me. And that's why I was subscribed to the platforms to watch the fights. Man,
Exactly.
let's
You know what that
look.
reminds me of? It reminds me of like fucking like FIFA fans every year spend all that money on the ultimate team, and what? Next game comes out, they do it all over again. You know why? Because they got them by the short and curlies, my friend.
That's how you know, like, branding. I know we got ONE FC, I know you got Bellator, PFL, whatever, but when it comes to the UFC, there's something about that brand. There's something about that spectacle, that show, the fights, the fighters, obviously, just captures me, man. So I was desperate to, regardless of them robbing me and me losing out money and whatnot, which I'm still pissed off about. Like, come on, guys, you could do better than that. But I still have to subscribe to watch the fights. And well, what a fight, man. Look, let's start with the main event, right? Because I know we're
Yeah,
gonna geek out about the other fights, but Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Pereira, you know what, Pereira, right? Even though he's such a stone face, no emotion dude, he's got so much character to him, bro. He's so lovable as a character because that celebration, it just, you know what I mean? It's so good, and he's got so much character in him, right? He's not just an amazing fighter, like middleweight champion, light heavyweight champion, like in such a short run. He's building a lot of character to him. He's fun. It's fun to just watch and see his videos and stuff. But bro, that knockout was, bro, it was the whole sequence. Like, he got kicked in the groin, didn't even take his eye off Jamal, told the referee back off, and just boom, knocked him out the left hook. I told some guy in Uzbekistan when we were talking about that, trust me, brother, Alex Pereira left hook. It's exactly what he did. Finished the fight and then his amazing celebration. But I just saw that happening because I just felt with Jamal Hill, in my opinion, like, why? I know it's MMA and you're an MMA guy, but you literally done striking with him. You know what I mean? You can't make all these claims, in my opinion, about this is MMA, it's not kickboxing, but then you just have a kickboxing fight. Then of course it's like you're gonna go up against an expert and you're gonna get knocked out, you're gonna get hurt or whatnot. I sometimes feel that this MMA ego gets the better of fighters, and rather than make an MMA fight, and even if your grappling and wrestling is not good, just to kind of, I don't know, push it against the fence, like change it from a kickboxing range battle, which is Pereira. And that's why I feel like, it was just not the best game plan. My thoughts, what do you think?
Uh, I think Jamal Hill.
Sorry, bro, you've gone very quiet again. The volume or something changed, or?
What about now? Is it okay now?
Yeah, a
No?
bit better.
Like, okay, let me scrap this thing. I'm trying to like get
game good and also be able to speak well. I put you on the speaker, but it ain't working. What about now?
That's better. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Um, yeah, I think, like I said to you before, I thought he had a chance to do it because he's really unorthodox and he's a bit strange. But at the same time, he's going against multi-champion kickboxer who's seen it all standing. And yeah, you're right. He should have gone and made it an MMA fight and used all the tools. But yeah, maybe it was ego. I think yeah, maybe ego, maybe because he was saying from time he's gonna knock him out, right? That's what he came up with, and how you gonna do that? Well, that's a standing game against one of the best. So it was a really silly game plan. It looked like he lost concentration when when Pereira was like, "No, no, my cock's fine. Let me just deal with this. Just deal with this guy." It looked like there's a very small. I don't know how many times you've seen that sequence, but have you noticed that when Herb comes and he says no, Jamal's like he kind of relaxes for a split second. Did you notice that?
Not that I didn't notice that. No.
It's like he he's here and he kind of just goes like that for a split second. So it's like he kind of like expects the whole minute moment with the ref and so on. It's a very very small second. I've watched it a couple of times. Very small seconds, but it's like in that moment when Herb comes and he says, "No, I'm good." Jamal his demeanor changes. Just a moment, and I think that not that it would have gone another way anyway, but I think that did throw him off a little bit, and that left hand, that left hook, man, fuck that, crazy. It's the top of his head.
Mm. You know what you're saying. I mean, it makes sense. I guess after that, he fought for a second. I'm gonna get a little, not that he wanted or anything, but like,
Break,
oh, there's gonna be a
breather.
break. There's gonna be a breather or whatnot.
Yeah,
But I mean, still, end of the day, the fact that Pereira didn't even take his eyes off him and was like, back up, that should already
that's
indicate, guard
what
up,
makes
like,
it.
there is no break.
That's what makes it so cool. Like
Yeah.
that was straight up like bad motherfucker type move right there. Just like, no, no, we don't need any medical aid. He gonna need medical aid in a minute. Let me. There we go.
My God, that was, I mean,
Yeah.
I was talking to you about, like, there was something that felt off in the press conference because there was all this respect. I saw this video of
Yes.
Jamal Hill asking him to sign the shirt, and I was like, this is gonna be nice.
Yes.
And then something happened in the
Yes.
press conference where he had the bottle, the water bottle that looked like, that statue.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just felt like something went off. Like, why build? You don't need to build the fight. You don't need to build animosity. Like, it felt a bit off.
Mm. You said about that. Yeah, you did say about that. What was it? Was it the eye contact? What was it that made you
It
feel
was
like
the
something?
verbals, it was the action, it was the attitude, like,
Okay.
the
Okay.
way he was talking, what he was saying. I'm just
Right.
like, doesn't seem right because you're just respecting,
Right.
him, and now all of a sudden it's like, so I don't know, it didn't make sense to me, but
False courage. Maybe false courage. I mean,
don't
yeah.
know. I don't know.
Going
I
up
mean,
against
look,
Pereira, you
Jamal
can't beat
Hill,
anybody.
definitely top contender, definitely amazing. But I think with Alex Pereira, there's something special about this guy, bro. Like expert kickboxer, always obviously working on his wrestling and grappling. He's got with one of the best glove to share. I feel like he could be dominant champ for a while. And if he's looking to go up to heavyweight, right? Because he mentioned that. I mean,
Like
how
you said,
how this guy's already certified himself as like already like a legend. No one, someone that you come and forget. Like it's like nah, like I'm moving on to the next
yep.
thing and just doing amazing things. I mean, already headline of UFC 300. He won the middleweight belt. He's fought nothing but freaking former champions. The light heavyweight
Mm,
belt. I mean. Just
yeah.
amazing, bro. I mean, the next person for him, like I was speaking about, like who can fight next. I mean, Ankalaev is out there still, but he was supposed to do the rematch with Jan, right? That didn't happen, right? Um, but
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a good. I mean, maybe Yuri. What's that? Jones versus Pereira. Yeah, that's fake news, obviously, right?
That's suggested by the UFC, allegedly. So I don't know. We'll find out next few days.
I mean, that'd be fun because the legend of that division comes back, Jones. But Champion Jones is a heavyweight and solidified himself up there. Just, still be a fun fight, of course. But
Mm.
I can see Pereira being the champion up there for a while, man. That belt has been moving around for such a long time. I feel like Pereira's got it for a while. That's my opinion.
He has completely changed the idea of MMA or even a stand-up fighter coming into MMA and not survive or not meant to be surviving in the world of all the tools under the sun. He's kind of he's a cheat code. He's broken the mold of what's meant to happen. Because if you think about it, what we know about MMA doesn't make sense because he's broken it. He's completely broken it. Like, okay, no one's gone in full wrestle heavy with him yet, so we don't know what that looks like. And when he has had it, Adesanya, Yan, not much. I think I can't really remember if he did Yan grapple him much.
Can't
Do you
remember
remember?
him grappling much, no.
Okay. But let's say Adesanya because that was the one time that he looked like he was struggling a little bit. Obviously, Adesanya is not a great grappler, so he wasn't unable to finish him in that moment. But so far, he's defied all the odds as a kickboxer in an MMA world completely.
Yeah, you got to think about it as well. When he did fight Adesanya, one, he probably knew it was going to be a kickboxing fight. So Adesanya probably caught him off guard and whatnot. And two, he's obviously been training his wrestling. And that was
Yeah,
a couple of years ago. So he's been training, like you could say a couple of years now in grappling just to kind of at least defend the takedown or learn how to stand up or defend yourself down there a little bit. So his skill set is just going. I mean, like I said, in that division right now, the only one that comes to mind is who's a great grappler is Ankalaev, right? And if he can do something from the grappling perspective, that would be interesting. And also, I just think, like, I don't know why people want to sit there and strike with a master of striking. Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Make it MMA. I think Yuri was fun because he's unorthodox anyway.
yeah.
Jamal Hill, yes, I get him. He's a bit unorthodox, but I feel like he's not that much. I think he's like a standard striker. He's got great power and whatnot, great athlete, but I think it's standard a little bit in regards to the skill set, which I don't think is a bad thing because Sean Strickland is very standard and he beat Alexander, right? So it's not a bad thing, but Alex Pereira is just a different
Levels.
level.
Yeah,
And those
no,
calf kicks
absolutely.
and all that stuff, he's just something else.
And his calf kicks are. I mean, you saw it did to Jamal Hill very early. Like he threw a few of them, and you could see he switched stances. Oh shit! Like, and I, you know what? I love what Pereira does. Gesundheit. I love the fact that I got so many thoughts in my head now. I love the fact that he him like Joshua in the Ngannou fight. He set up the left hook with the body shot. Did you notice that? Went for the
Mhm.
body. Went for the body. You start reaching for that crack with the left hook. That's that all day, all day. That's what he does. It's not something that many people don't really rock body shots like they used to as much as before. Do you remember that?
Especially
No,
a
it's not.
straight shot to the body. You know what I mean? Like you might
Yeah,
wing the hooks or whatnot, but a straight jab to
yeah.
the body, you don't see that much in MMA.
You don't see that often. Yeah, so he utilizes that real clean on the left side to open up, to get the person to drop the guard down and then go for the hook. Um, Incredible, But Jamal Hill, for all his power and his unorthodox style, he has pretty basic footwork. Have you noticed that? You know how he's off balance, he throws things, his chin's up in the air and whatnot. Like it was only a matter of time for him to get chinned, to be honest. So I think if he was to clean that up, maybe be able to be a bit more of a well-rounded stand-up fighter. But as it is right now, he makes too many mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, Jamal Hill's accomplished a lot, right? Coming from a contender, becoming the light heavyweight champion, being a headline of UFC 300. I mean, there's so much that he's done. It's been amazing. But yeah, I think there's more to grow. He's got fights there, right? He's got Jan, he's got Yuri, he's got Ankalaev. So he's got a few
Called out
fights to
Yuri, right? Sorry, he called out Yuri. By the way, sorry to cut you off.
Jamal Hill already, did he?
Yeah, yeah, he called
Okay, I
out
mean
Yuri.
that kind of you know
Makes sense.
what? Maybe that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. And maybe someone else, you give someone else to Alex. Like I say, either I mean, because Jan and Alkalife is the fight. So I'm just thinking, who else would it be?
Yeah, it's true. Isn't it funny how like this would have never happened if Adesanya shut his mouth? Think about it. Pereira would not be in the company if Adesanya did not bring him up and say, "Oh yeah, he's some guy that I lost a couple times. Yeah, like bring him over if he wants to come through. Yeah, why not?" Would have never happened. Imagine that.
Yeah, I
And we
mean,
all doubted it.
do you really think like never would have happened, or you think the UFC had their eyes on something like him, or because Joe Rogan's been talking about it for a while? Obviously, you're right though. The connection with Adesanya makes the storyline and all that sort of stuff. The one guy that's beating this Adesanya who's just amazing and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely the way it all manifests
Maybe not
together is
never.
crazy.
Yeah, maybe not never, but Adesanya definitely accelerated that process by talking about him and people, shining light on him and who he is. And then, like you said, that the storyline was there, and the UFC went into it. And now look, he's a two-time world champion. He, he needs to give Adesanya a bottle of bubbly or something because it's nuts how he ended up inadvertently becoming the ladder that brought him into the UFC inadvertently. It's crazy that it happened that way.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the rankings and Yuri's gone up to number one, Jamal Hill dropped to three, and Magomed Ankalaev is number two. So it could make sense either a Yuri and Alex rematch or something new, Magomed versus Alex, and that's a new challenge. It's a new, can is Magomed gonna wrestle him? Because Margaret, I think Akalai made a tweet or something already saying that he'll knock him out now. Come, don't distract people like that, man. Use your wrestling. You know what I mean? You're the
Yeah,
wrestling guy. Use your wrestling.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
then it makes it interesting. It's like striker against wrestler. Who can avoid who's best? Who can impose their game?
Yeah, no, it's true, and I suppose that's the one thing that we've yet to see is how he deals with an all-out grappler. We haven't seen that yet. But chances are, I mean, you said it yourself. He's been training in wrestling. He's got Glover in his corner. Glover's a black belt. Pereira is now a black belt right after that fight as well. I can't really see
DC
much
was
going the
funny. He was
other
like,
way.
why? He didn't grapple at all.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah. Yeah. I can't see much going the other way. Uh, Things going any other way against Pereira at the moment. With him just chinning somebody, regardless grappler, striker, whatever. I feel like he's too strong. I feel like that's what it is right now. So his reign
Definitely.
will continue.
And he's got that championship confidence. He's got a great team, and I think he's a superstar, man. I really do. I think there's so much character in him. There's something different. Like I say, stern face, doesn't talk much, but there's character, man, in this guy. So he's exciting, man, in that division. Uh,
Massively,
cool,
massively.
man. Let's move on. We got a whole freaking card to talk about, literally head to toe. Let's move on. The women's strawweight title fight, Zhang Weili versus Yang Xiaonan, which was another great fight, big hype for Chinese MMA, and
Yeah,
for China. And Zhang Weili, I think she. I was
yeah, did
shocked
it,
that I
man.
was shocked that Yang Xiaonan was getting the better of her in regards to the striking, and in fact dropped her a few times. But the fact that you okay, bro? You throwing up or you drinking something? That's a big bucket of.
Oh yeah, I just put ice in there and was like, yeah, water.
But yeah, Zhang Weili. I think, like I said, I thought Yang was it was. I was a bit shocked that she had a better, was getting the better of her in striking and even knocked down Zhang. But I think Zhang showed her experience and just showed her MMA knowledge, man. I feel very intelligent to be like the grappling's working better for me, even though she looked tired at one point. She went for the grappling and she dominated on the grappling and it just kind of overtook the fight. And I thought that was just great IQ, great intelligence, and just goes to show how I think amazing Zhang Weili is. Even Yan, I think she showed how she belongs up there. But I think Zhang just showed that it's just a different level. Like I'm an MMA fighter and I have many different tools. And I thought that was just really intelligent.
It was. I do you think that she put too much into that choke at the initial and may have gassed a little bit. Do you think that that's what happened? Why she ended up almost giving up the fight at some point? You think that was possible?
I mean, there's a possibility. There's a possibility. But you mentioned that bloody hell, that choke at the round one. She was out. She put Yan out. But you know what I mean? That was crazy. That was crazy. She put her out.
Done.
And then
She
she
was
got up,
done.
yeah, during the round. Lucky the time literally saved by the bell. Because she was
That
out. My God.
was
But
done.
there's a possibility that she gassed herself out a little bit with the chokes, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that a second more. This is how crazy it is. A second more, and they would have called that fight. So that's how crazy that one was.
You know, and for her to come back and put on that like a championship fight and bring it to Zhang Weili was unheard of. That was nuts, man. You know what that reminded me of? Joanna Jacek against Carolina. You remember their first fight in UFC, the first UFC in New York when McGregor played with Eddie Alvarez. Remember that card? And similar, like we expected that it's going to be a one-way street. It was Poland versus Poland. It's China versus China this time. And surprisingly, the contender was able to put work onto the champion. And man, like it was a really good to see that she is not just anybody. She's worthy of being. And like we said, it was a great fight. It was a really good fight.
Definitely. Oh,
Championship level fight.
she definitely showed how worthy she is in that
Yeah,
division.
I think I can see them fighting again. Right? Can you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at the rankings again. I've got it up here,
I
and
can see it
you
coming
know,
up again.
Tatiana Suarez has gone up. Xiao
Ah,
Yu,
she's next.
Yan is on number
She's
2, so that
next.
could be a next contender just because of that division, just keeping it, spicing it up constantly.
Tatiana, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know what she's about, right? She's tough. She's got
Yeah.
really great boxing, durable. She needs to be next. I think she's on a. Isn't she on a winning streak?
Was she
Tatiana
doing?
Suarez.
Yes, I think she is. I think she beat what's her
Yeah,
name? What's the name?
she's
Bloody hell.
she's on a she's on a tear at the moment.
I want to say she
Suarez.
beat Andrade, Jessica Andrade.
That's who it was. Yeah, she's 33. She's beaten a couple people
11
that.
fight. She's on an 11 fight win streak. You're right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, she needs to be next, man. She needs to be next. Like there can't be no damn like Tony Ferguson shit going on again. The people just not getting not getting the belt after like a dozen fights.
Yeah.
She
So
needs
last
to
time
be
she
next.
fought was August 2023, and she beat Andrade by
Right.
submission. So, but
Yeah.
yes, yeah, she's
Yeah.
on a
Like
tear.
I've got my eye on her. Like I feel like it's gonna be a good fight. I don't know if she'll win it, but I think she'll be a good challenge for whoever's champion.
Damn, she beat Russo as well in that division back in 2018. Okay, it's a while ago, but still.
Who?
What's the name? Russo. What have I gone blank? Grasso. Alexa Grasso.
Ah, Russell, right. Yeah, if I'm telling you, man, she's serious. She got great boxing. Good. She's a very lanky fighter, durable, and yeah, all round, she's a handful. She's a handful. You said 11 fight win streak. Come on, man. She's next.
That's yeah. Well, that should be fun. And I think Zhang Weili is actually a fun champion. I really do. There's something about
Yeah,
her training
her
effort,
energy.
her fights, her energy is like really awesome.
Yeah.
So that's a fun division. I think she makes that really fun. All right, let's move on to the freaking. It's got to be the best fight of the night, and we got performance and fight of the night. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway for the BMF title. I mean, bro, that knockout. So, okay, I missed the fights, right? I remember I was trying to find the fights and whatnot. Bro, this is the first time I've seen Dana, the ESPN, UFC, everyone put this up on their Instagram because it was the most craziest moment. It was, bro. And then I watched it and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then after I realized that it was on the last second of the 5th round. And then
Yep.
I found out that he was winning the fight, and you're like, oh my God, this guy,
Yep.
Max, both of them are amazing, but Max Holloway, I counted him out, not in a bad way, and I wasn't at 100% he's going to lose. He had no chance. I was just like, I think due to the size, due to the
Dangerous fight, right?
dangerous Justin Gaethje guy,
Yeah.
the baller, not just the baller, but he's technical baller. He's up for taking a shot.
Yeah.
I just thought it just would be too much for Holloway, but that was 100% bullshit. Holloway has just shown that he is a fun contender in two divisions without a shadow of a doubt, the flyweight and the lightweight. So freaking. So what do you think? I mean, how was your reaction when you were watching the fight live and whatnot? Because that was one of those fights where I wish I recorded my reaction and all that sort of stuff. How was your reaction?
Oh well, I mean, I managed to record it basically, but I lost my shit, man. I couldn't believe because I was like, it got to the last few seconds, and I was like, he did it, and I'm like, yeah, cool. Oh, he actually connected. Like it was, and my friend was just like, he was like, oh, he just got switched off. I was like, yeah, he turned him off. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe that he. And I thought of you when you said, "There's no way he's gonna llamas him," and he did just that. And he was winning the fight, and he caught him. And Max proved everybody wrong. Everybody wrong because you and I both said, you just said it. We fought. Gaethje me too much. We referenced the Dustin Poirier fight, which he took a beating in that fight, and for some reason we just kind of thought, yeah, it's going to be the same kind of outcome. We couldn't have been further from the truth. Max is a whole different like animal, whole different creature, to do that. What does that mean for Volkanovski? Like, what does? I mean, even he reacted. Did you see his reaction?
Yeah. I mean, man, Max Holloway, man, just trying to digest what you were saying and just like how he was able to just. I think he said that he put the weight on better. His striking was really good. That spinning back kick from the first round really changed the momentum of the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, his jabs were good. His striking was good. I mean, Gaethje was obviously awesome as well, but I think just Holloway just had an extra edge on him. He looked good. He looked like more full in that division.
Yeah.
Well, those. I said flyweight earlier, but in featherweights. But those featherweights, bro, Volkanovski and him have shown that they are like even in the lightweight division, like they're competitors. Volkanovski having that fight with Islam, forget the one he got knocked out. Think about the first fight. He had that fight. He got to show how he was up there in the lightweight division. Max Holloway just knocked out the first, what was it, number 2 in the lightweight division, or number.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, what was Justin, number 3 or something? And he was number 2. I mean, it just. Holloway is just a legend, man. He's a dog when it comes to it, but his striking ability is just that good as well. He is a great boxer. You can't let, as well as being a straight out dog, man. He's just got a technical ability. He's just amazing, man.
I just can't believe that it went that way. In that time that it did, and yeah, like maybe even the extra weight gave him more pop, maybe, or maybe it was an accumulation of shots. Not sure, but I kind of want to see what happens with like more fights with Max in that division to see what else he can do, because it's just unheard of. But you know what's even funny about all of this? I can imagine Islam just being like, "This is waste of time."
Well, someone made a comment to me the other day, like, was talking to a friend of mine in Hong Kong, and he was like, I don't think Max can go up against Islam. I think Islam will smash him. And I was like, before this fight, I would have been like, yeah, I think so. But now, I don't know. But I think with Holloway, I would love to see him in that division, but I think he can blatantly bounce between the two divisions, right? I think he called out to Poirier, and I think that's a great fight. I think they should do that.
Yep.
Also, in the lightweight division, I think what he could do, he could go for Topuria. This is what I think. Like, go for Topuria. Let that happen in a couple of months. Let McGregor and Chandler happen. Now, if McGregor wins, him and McGregor round 2 end of the year for the BMF. Well, yeah, I guess you can say BMF just because McGregor will force that. But why not? Because that's a big fight. There's a story behind it. He's not wasting time waiting for anyone. He could just fight Topuria, possibly be the flyweight champion again, and then he can get a possible McGregor fight if McGregor can beat Chandler in June.
That is probably the smartest thing you've ever said on this podcast.
I got a bit of intelligence, you know. I like to watch UFC sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
I'm messing. No, that's a stroke of genius.
Not bad, right?
I like that. No, I like that one. That's a really good idea. That means no one's waiting. We get to see BMF defended and whatnot. That's a really good idea. I wouldn't be surprised if the UFC do it, because look how many times we've called up, had these assumptions and whatnot, and it comes true. And these are just logical, sensical decisions that should be made. So yeah, I'll drink to that.
I'm sure the UFC have like a timeline, storyline. Say, cool, if this happens, we do this. If that happens, we do that. Because Islam's gonna fight Dustin Poirier in around June, July as well. So there's that fight happening. So by the end of that year, so those two will fight. By the end of the year, then maybe whoever winner of that fight will fight Arman, because we're gonna talk about his fight in a second. Arman Tsarukyan. But there's that to talk about as well, but it just opens up so much. Again, this lightweight division, for some reason, this division is too fun, bro. It's so fun.
This is the fucking the big leagues of the UFC at the moment. This is the most exciting division, one of the most exciting divisions we have. Ever since Khabib left, right?
Still, while he was there, and even after he left, it carried on being fun.
It's become even more exciting after he's gone.
I mean, Charles,
because the characters have changed, right?
Yeah, Charles and Gaethje, they can both fight next. That's another rematch there. You still got people like Rafael Fiziev, Max Holloway is number 9 now, and new in that division, but he can go in there and have some fun fights. Chandler, you know, he's also fun. I know he's been losing. I know he's waiting for that Conor McGregor fight, but you know, they can make that happen. Do you know who else could be a fun fight?
Go on.
If they wanted to. Why not Bobby Green? We're going to talk about Bobby Green later. Why not Bobby Green versus Max Holloway? Another fun fight. 2 strikers, hands down, boxing. Yeah, Bobby Green's number 15, but it's fun. That division just makes it another fun fight. You know? We'll talk about Bobby Green's fight later on, but that's just 2 guys with their hands down. Like, let's go, talking shit to each other. I also thought Bobby Green and the Nate Diaz fight would have been great. I don't know if they ever fought, but, you know, I'm jumping into that, but that fight would have been a good one as well if those 2 ever fought. Anyway. Go on. No, I just wanted to conclude on that. And look, Justin Gaethje is still a beast, and you got to give him all the credit, because he could have got title shot next, but he chose to take this fight and you know, put it on the line. But he could fight if Islam and Poirier are scheduled to fight, maybe Gaethje could fight Arman for the number 1 contender, which could happen at the end of the year. So there's shit that they can line up there too for the end of the year as well.
There's a lot. There's a lot that they can play with. And you're right. Max has a lot to give up for Gaethje, because he had everything to lose in that one. He had nothing to gain, him taking on Max Holloway. But he's a competitor, he's an animal, he's one hell of a dog as well. So yeah, like, massive kind of props for him for taking a fight he didn't need to, you know, against an opponent who's not even in your division. So crazy that he did that. And then we go what we got, basically, you know?
One of the greatest knockouts of all time, I have to say, just because of everything, right? That last second was something, and he was out cold. He was winning the fight, everything coming from a division below. Everything about that makes, not just like Max Holloway, that moment, that knockout, everything, just one of the most highlights of definitely of the year. He wins that for the year. I feel like, I mean, it's only bloody May, it's only bloody April, and you know, I feel like he solidified that. But everything puts him, he's a Hall of Famer, he's a legend. Like, Holloway goes down as a legend and a Hall of Famer. He's only 32 or something. I mean, bro, think about this. My guy's only 32. He can retire now and be one of the legends of the sport, but he won't. He's got so much more to do. So this guy, he's got so much to accomplish, or he's already accomplished so much, and I can't even imagine how much more he's going to accomplish to solidify him as one of the greatest of all time. Just one of the GOATs in MMA, in my opinion.
It is what it is, right?
Exactly.
That's all I can say.
It is what it is.
Okay, move on.
Let's move on to the next one.
On
Freaking
that
hell, this
note,
fight card was amazing. Lightweight bout, Charles Oliveira, Arman Tarukan, how do you say his name? Bro, so this was another you meant to what you say?
Arman Sarukian.
Tarukian, there you go. This was one of the fights that you mentioned as well, where it was like one of those new coming guys going up against, one of the high level guys to try and break in. And we saw what happened with Dustin Poirier and Garma. No, who is it?
Benoit
Benoit.
Saint-Denis.
Yeah. And
Benoit.
this was kind of like that, but Arman showed that he deserves to be up there because I think he done it. I mean, look, Charles, it was definitely a great fight back and forth. And Charles got some tight submissions, man. I can't believe Arman survived the guillotine. I can't believe he survived the what was it, the Darce choke, especially from Charles. But he goes to show that Arman's like, bro, great competitor. And wrestling wise, like, yes, he fought Islam on his debut, but they had a nice good back and forth scramble wrestling. Could you imagine what they'll do now? I think that'd be fun. Both have definitely improved. Both great wrestlers. Ah man, that's a fun fight. So I feel like either Poirier. So apparently they offered Arman the title fight, but he wasn't ready to fight Islam. They offered it immediately. And he said, I can't take it right now. Like, give me some time. And apparently they just took that and offered it straight to Poirier, which I don't know. It's a bit messed up. But maybe he can either wait to the end of the year and fight either one, or maybe he fights like a Justin Gaethje in June or July or whatever, and then wait to the end of the year. But maybe he can wait out. I don't know what he decides to do.
I think surely that he would be next for the title, Arman. Like he could just wait and the wings, no? Because Charles was next in line as well. So I mean he has the option, right? But
I mean, Arman's #1 now. Charles is 2, Justin Gaethje 3.
wow, okay. I mean, I really thought that Arman good game plan by Arman to stay wrestling heavy and to just suppress anything that Charles would have done. I thought that was a smart move to do. Obviously, as I told you, I wanted Charles to win, so I was a bit disappointed that he went that way. But we now have a fresh challenger, fresh face to break in, and let's see what he can do. Arman versus Islam 2. It's been what, 5 years? Or it's been a couple years. So yeah, look forward to seeing a fresh face. But I really do hope that Charles does come back and figure it out, because there's something about Charles I've always liked his style.
Not the nicest guy, man. He's so nice. Like, how could you not like his characteristics and his respectfulness? And he's just such a nice guy.
You know what? You tell me another like straight up killer that goes into the cage and goes in and hugs the opposition's folks and then goes and gets rid of the fight.
Never seen that. Nobody does that.
Never
Nobody ever. He always is consistent.
Nobody ever does that. Like that is some boss level shit. Go in there, hug the team and everything, and then like moments later, I'm gonna smash your boy.
Bro, he's just the nicest guy, man. I don't know how anyone could ever hate his characteristics. And obviously, he's a beast when it comes to fighting. I mean, what he's done to the top, the top of this division is just something else. So, I mean, yeah, he's so likable. He's so likable as a character.
He'll bounce back.
He'll bounce back. I think he could fight. Listen, he's got, like I say, I think they could do a Justin Gaethje rematch, or if they want to move on and just kind of build some other people. You got Gamwa, you got Rafael Fasiv, you got Holloway. Why not? If Holloway wants to make a title one, like so
Holloway and Charles. Jeez.
I'm saying Holloway's a contender in the division. Listen, when it comes to lightweight division, I'm talking about Holloway as well as the featherweight division as well. I'm talking about Holloway when it comes to the lightweight division too.
yes, true, true, true. But I kind of have to get my head around the fact that Max Holloway is in two divisions now, and he's like a strong, viable option. So yeah, let me process that.
Definitely. All right, well, let's move on to the first fight of the main card. Hype train, I'm on it. Bo Nickel versus Cody Bondage. Bo Nickel wasn't happy with his performance, but I think he did what he had to do, and he's wrestling. He wrestled. He's known for his wrestling.
Yeah.
DC was obviously commenting on his wrestling and his abilities and whatnot, and then he managed to finish the fight with a choke. I still believe the hype. I'm a big fan. I'm not a wrestling expert, but from what I can see, he's just dominating right now. But yeah, let him build up. I'm trying to say, let him build up and slowly get into the groove in this middleweight division, because it's another fun division.
Mm.
But
What
I
level is
think he is. Where is he?
what ranking is he?
He's not even ranked yet, so he's got so much
No.
time. So
Oh wow.
that's how much hype is around him, because he was on UFC 300 main card and he's not even ranked in the top 15 yet.
Damn. It's that name, isn't it? It's his brand.
He's built a great brand. He's just an American wrestler. You know what I mean? Like they've built a great brand and he's just been dominating so far. So,
Mm.
he's still
I
young.
think
He's still 5-0 in the UFC, or in general, maybe. Hold on.
I think it was an impressive showing, and I was happy that he shut everybody up like he said he would. So I'm like I said, we're both on the hype train. We're sitting in economy class for now. Uh, let's see what he can do. Because he's got that supreme Olympic level wrestling, which means that he's got no worries of anybody taking him down. Right? He just has to worry. He just has to make sure he's got hands and he's complete, because his defense for grappling and whatnot is sorted. So let's see how that develops. What kind of challenges he gets, how the UFC deal with him. Obviously, they're beating him fighters who they believe is on his level. Um, and yeah, look forward to seeing him kind of jump up against somebody who's a bit more seasoned and experienced, and see what he does with that. But wow, like, Bo Nickel is here for sure.
Definitely. I think hype train on UFC 300. No need to rush him still. Let's take our time and let's enjoy
Yeah.
what he's got. All right, let's get into the prelims. Freaking hell.
Okay. Damn.
Yuri Prochazka versus Alexandra
Oh,
Rakic.
Yuri.
Bro,
Yeah,
performance of the night, the samurai, the unorthodox striking. I mean,
he
I
got it.
think
Yeah,
Rakic, what's that?
he got performance of the night. Did he?
Performance of the night,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
good. Yeah, good
Uh,
man. Good.
Rakic, I think, was doing a great job while everything was composed, while everything was,
Yeah,
good sort of. He's like he got a distance. He was throwing those calf kicks. Everything was going well,
yeah,
but I feel like with Yeri, the pressure's non-stop. That's the one thing with Yeri. So if you can't keep up with that pressure, then it starts getting like, oh shit. And then constantly trying to avoid Yeri's unawkwardness drains your cardio as well. So if you can't keep up with
yeah.
that pressure,
'Cause you're
that's what
constantly.
happens, yeah. And then it was just that one strike that connected, and Yuri was all over him. It was like a right left hook, what was it? Left straight right hook. No, it wasn't even a right hook. I think it was a left right straight, and it was just the beginning and the end from then. And they just kind of threw him down to the
Yeah,
floor and just
yeah.
groundage and poundage from there, man.
Swarmed him. Like it's almost like he took the magic mushroom from Mario, because he was walking straight and he was just not bothering. He just took the punches and carried on moving forward. And I remember DC or Joe Rogan, or they were saying that he has like a disdain for his shots that was coming his way. Like he just was almost dismissal of anything he had to throw from Rakitic. And impressive as always of Yuri, man. Impressive. So
Definitely, it's
impressive.
definitely fun. I mean, I don't know about that style though. Like, I know it's unorthodox or whatever, but yes, he did take a few hits and leg hits.
He
But
did.
his thing is he's just non-stop pressure, of that forward
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to cope with that. It's hard to get somebody to mimic that in training, preparing for someone like that, it's pretty tricky. But yeah, no, he does have a very dangerous style. You're right. I was thinking to myself, like, even though he has that mushroom, that invulnerability and walks through and whatnot, like Pereira did knock him out, not too long ago with that same style. Um, but he was saying something in his conference. He didn't make too many excuses. I don't know if you heard. Did you hear his conference that he had? The,
No, I didn't.
and he was saying that he had some difficulties going into that fight. He lost the fight. That's what it was. But he said a lot of things happened going into it, and it just wasn't right. But but yeah, all the same, it doesn't matter. It's his style is his style, and he will take a few to give a few. So that's just what it is. But yeah, I'm with Yuri on it. I really do enjoy what he brings to the table. I like what he talks about, and I actually, I rarely listen to fighters much these days until in pre talk. I normally watch the post, and I kind of got an idea of what he's about, and I'm like, yo, this guy, he gets it. Like he's different. He talks different. He's got that kind of very positive inner self kind of. I've beaten my inner demons type shit. Like I'm ready to take on everybody. I like that about him. So yeah, man. Yuri's he's my guy.
He's definitely an interesting character. Rogan was asking him about, did you get offended when he was saying that, you're not a samurai and you're a fake samurai? And he was just trying to explain, he goes, guys, I know I'm not a samurai, but I've embodied that way of life. Like I appreciate that way
Yeah,
of life. I love, I
yeah.
respect that. And I'm just kind of embodying that warrior spirit that they impose on one. So no, it's definitely amazing, definitely amazing. But yeah, fun fighter, he's got so much more in that division. To make the top five at least so exciting with someone as unorthodox as Yuri. Let's move on. Featherweight bout. Calvin Kerr versus Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling's debut at the featherweight division, and
That was not a pretty fight.
it wasn't. It was, but I think he done the right thing, and that's his base, right?
Man.
Grappling and jiu-jitsu, and he did what he had to do to win. And I think he shut down Calvin KO. He really did. Even though people will say the fight might be boring or whatever, he shut him down, and he went to like show him this what an elite, um, high level title contender, fight,
Right.
not just contender, champion
Champion, yeah.
that is capable of doing. And I think Aljamain should stick there because I have to be honest, like Aljamain's striking is ugly, man. It's ugly. And I think that's why someone like Sugar found it easy to knock him out because Aljamain reaches too much. And I just don't think his striking ability is nowhere near his grappling ability by far.
No.
His grappling ability is just something else. So I think impose that game plan. Same thing, just grapple. That's it.
It was definitely a smart fight. Absolutely. Do I remember much of it? No. I just remember Calvin Kattar looking really distraught after just being held down, and obviously they booed. But yeah, oh,
Oh, we lost him. But yeah, I mean, the crowd was booing. I don't know why though. I mean, again, I listen. I still am always going to respect the martial arts, and you got to do what's best to win. Like you got to do if wrestling's your game, if there's that grinding game plan or whatnot, then you got to do what's best to win. You can't just be like, all right, I'm just going to give the fans an entertaining show and just get knocked out, like what's been happening with Chandler, for example. So I think that's smart from Aljamain Sterling. Hopefully, he keeps the same mind frame. Obviously, he's working on his striking, but I don't think, unless his striking gets really crisp, I don't really think that he should be going, relying too much on that and just stick to the grappling. Have we got you
yeah,
back?
yeah. My oh shit, my tablet wasn't charging properly, so it just died. So I jumped onto the phone. So yeah, I'm here. But yeah, yeah, definitely was a game plan for Aljo. Um, I don't know, like in that division, is that going to take him far as a grappler like that? We'll see. But I really do believe, and I've said to you before that that's the one part of his game, the one wrinkle that I think really needs to improve for him to be a bit more devastating um, of, of a competitor, especially in he's now moved up. People are going to have more power. People are going to there's different types of fighters in that division. So I think it. I mean, I know he obviously trained everything all day, every day, but I just feel like there's something missing there that if he just was to lean into it a bit more, maybe there's something else that he can deliver with extra bulk, extra power. But I'm not his coach. Um, so whatever, man.
I mean, in that division, man, like you got he entered the flyweight featherweight division, sorry, at number 8 after that. So you got Josh Emmett. I reckon he can out wrestle. This is just opinions, so it's not really looking right. Arnold Allen, I think there's a possibility he can out wrestle. Then you got Movzar Ivalov. Then that could be a tough one for wrestling wise. Yair Rodriguez, I think can out wrestle. Brian Ortega, good grappler as well. You got Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, and then you got Ilya Topuria. So from a striking perspective, I don't think in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be a tough one in that division from a striking perspective. From wrestling,
Right.
if he just sticks to that game plan, he has a much better chance of building himself up in that division using his wrestling and his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If he tries to strike, you got Yair Rodriguez, you Alexander Volkanovski, Topuria, Max Holloway. No, I don't think he can strike in that division. I don't think he's striking is sufficient in that division.
Yeah, yeah. Shit. I think that makes a lot of sense. So it was good to see him do it, and I knew that he was capable of making the jump. It's just want to see more. I want to, like I said with Max, I want to see what else he can do with this extra added weight. Not now you're ascended saying like what can you do with it? Like how can you push yourself to the next level? Whatever tricks is now enabled now that you have that weight, like what can you do? So I'm very curious to see what's next, how he performs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. All right, let's move on. Women's bantamweight bout. We had Holly Holmes versus Kyla
Oh my
Harrison. Debut of Kyla
God.
Harrison, a lot of hype around her, and
Oh my.
she delivered, right? I mean, she's a beast, though. She's massive, first of all. And I think Joe Rogan was saying her back looks like Belfort's back, which is deep. But she's powerful, and then she's got Olympic level judo. I mean, that division with her in it is, I don't know, man. She's a beast in that division. She's Holly Holmes a legend, man, and she shattered her, man. She destroyed her.
I think Holly Holm, you know what when they say what's it now like what's the term that they use? It's like a uh curse with a success, something like that. Like Holly Holm came in, she was brought in to take down Ronda Rousey. Am I right?
Well,
Right?
I don't know if bought in, but yes, definitely,
That
part of
was
that chapter.
that, that was the idea. I don't know if you remember, but it was like Holly Holm or Cyborg. We need this was the beginning of them bringing in fresh blood to kind of you know uh compete with the champion. That was the early days of it. Now, obviously, we've had like Pereira come in, and we've had other people come in to fight the champion. Um, Obviously not right away, but to kind of have that high level caliber and to really challenge them. And I think that was the first one that crossed over. And then after that, it I don't know, it just never really worked out for Holly in the end. Like she won the belt, that was great. Then lost it to Misha, and so on, and then just was on the periphery for a long time. So I didn't expect her to beat Kayla Harrison, but I didn't think she would get smushed like that
Hmm.
by Kayla Harrison. Um, it seems the weight cut didn't make a difference, huh? In the end, like I was saying,
Yeah, nah, I mean, I think she's just so big, man, and she gained all that weight back. Um,
she did. She
Holly
did look really
Holm.
beat up on the going. Did you see when she weighed in?
No, I didn't see the weigh-ins.
No, that's when I was thinking, oh, okay, that guy was right because she looked really haggard and worn out, but she was able to recoup and everything. So in that time, I was like, oh, she looks like she might faint, but it made no difference, and she did exactly what she's capable of doing. But this is the first time she's cut so much weight. Like I said, normally she fights at 145 or something up, and she's come all the way down to this 135 fight, right?
I think it's 135. Yeah,
Yeah,
bantamweight is 135. Yeah.
yeah. So she normally fights at 145 or even above that. So this is the first time she's had to cut down. But incredible performance from Kayla Harris. Like, wow,
I think what's her
incredible.
name, man? Oh my God, who's the greatest female champion? Amanda Nunes. Amanda
She should have
Nunes.
called out Nunes. She should have called out
Well,
Nunes.
I think Nunes tweeted or something that's saying she's interested, like she's interested coming back because fighting her. So that's gonna be interesting if she decides to come back. She'll be tired and she can retire and sit
Doesn't
back
matter.
and chill. But she
Right.
she tweeted something saying that she's interested. So that might build something up. That can make something exciting in that division for Kyla Harrison.
I think that's like who else is in that division that's really gonna, give Kayla Harrison a big deal
Let me pull it up.
at the moment.
So Raquel Pennington is the champion. You
Nope,
got Juliana Pena, number one.
nope,
Caitlin Vera, number
nope.
two. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like
Yeah,
Kyla
man.
Harrison jumped in already at number four.
She'll be champion by the end of the year if you know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
so.
Like,
I think so. You know
she'll,
what? I won't be surprised if they just make Raquel Pennington versus Kyla next for the end of the year or whatever, and just get the title shot straight away. I won't be surprised. And then maybe if Amanda comes back after that, that would be a great storyline and see how that goes. But she's very powerful. Like she looked powerful.
she does. Is it fair to say she's like Ronda 2.0? Is it fair to say that? Just because of
Yeah, yeah.
what she's capable of doing. Sorry, her discipline in judoka outside, but then having the extra grit and guile to beat up on a motherfucker like tough. I think Ronda was missing that extra bit, and obviously the competition was different that Ronda had at the time. We know that. Then competition stepped up, and she wasn't able to deal with it. But I feel like Kayla Harrison, she's got all those things lined up, and she could be one for the while. Let's say if she keeps it up,
I
one for
think
the while.
so. I think so. It looks like it. And obviously her resume in PFL and whatnot, but it looks like that's something that she could be the dominant
Yeah,
champion in that division.
yeah.
And if
Even
Amanda Nunes
Cyborg,
comes back. Yeah,
even Cyborg.
David Dana's not entertaining that. Someone
No,
asked him that and he was like, yeah, like he's not in the cyborg business at all anymore.
yeah,
So
I
that's
guess
never gonna
not.
happen in the UFC.
Yeah, I guess because they it didn't end well. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Nunez is the
Anyway,
option.
fun for
Yeah,
that division. Fun for that division.
yeah, definitely.
Moving on to the next fight, Sadiq Yusuf versus Diego Lopez. Again, Diego, man, like he
Oh shit!
a striker
He
like Sadiq,
fucking
like
yo.
that,
That was
man. Short uppercuts or whatnot. That was kind of
that
like
was wow,
didn't expect
wow.
that.
He's on a tear. No, he's a free and three fight win streak or something. But he's knocked out a few people. Lopez with his fucking mullet.
I know. He pulls it off well, doesn't he?
He does.
He's
That was
14.
yeah.
Number 14.
Really
Let's see.
okay.
What is it?
Wow,
10 wins. No,
very
no,
nice.
no, no, no.
Dropped him twice. No, with uppercuts.
Yeah, I don't know if he's on a win streak. 10 wins by
No,
knockout, 12 by
I know.
submission.
Okay,
He doesn't say it here, so I'm just on the UFC site. But he's on a winning streak. It doesn't say how much of his winning streak he's on.
okay. But he's definitely like someone to be feared. Like he's doing his thing and
It's a
he's
fun
good.
division, isn't it? The featherweight division is a
It's
fun one to be in for him.
I think despite what I've said previously a couple months before, maybe last year, I was like UFC ain't really got nothing. Maybe one championship. Okay, forget that version of me is gone. I think UFC now is got all the recipes and all the ingredients, salt, and pepper to make this shit this year to be wow in regards to fights.
Oh
Like the
yeah, yeah.
competition, the roster. Fucking couple weeks ago, we were talking about Peyton Talbot. Like there's all these extra people that's just here, and it's super exciting to be a UFC fan at the moment. Let me just uh, put that out there.
Oh yeah, without that. Listen, but I said it at the beginning of the podcast. They've robbed me twice now, and I still go back and join up and want to watch the fights because I'm too invested. Like I'm invested. Like I was invested in the MCU saga and all that sort of stuff. Like they literally robbed me for my money, man. Like, but I'm like, oh, I will take more of my money, and I still want to watch the fights, please. You know what I mean? So. I could have waited for UFC 300. I could have waited. I watched. Okay, so I watched the main card a day or two later on some stream.
Which
Well,
one? This one.
yeah, UFC 500 because I couldn't watch it live,
Okay,
right? My membership, the other
yeah,
one was discontinued. I was in Uzbekistan. So I waited
sure.
2 days to watch the fights live, the main card on some stream that was uploaded. All right, cool. Well, I could
Mm.
be like, oh, you know what? I could do that from now on. Well, because the prelims of this damn card, 300, was so exciting, I signed up to watch those like, because I couldn't find them online. So I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna pay for it to watch the prelims of this damn card. I watched the main event. I could have been like, I'm happy. I don't need to pay for the next
Mm.
UFC just to make my money back because after they robbed me. I was still like, I just take my
Mm.
money because I want to watch the prelims. So UFC's got me, man. They got me.
Mm.
Well, look, let's finish off with the early prelims because
Yeah,
again, even the early prelims were amazing. Jalil Turner versus Ronaldo Makai. How do you say it? Ronaldo
Marcano.
Macano.
Hanato Marcano.
Bro, like Macano's funny, man. On the mic, he's getting a crowd, especially with the American crowd. He's loving it. But Jalen Turner, like, I mean, he knocked him down. I don't know why everyone. I know he's getting the thing like because he walked away trying to do a walk off knockout, but I feel like in the beginning of the first round, or not the beginning, in the first round when he knocked Renato down. If he followed up, they could have been a different story, but he didn't follow up. Watano recovered well and just was able to just kind of grapple in, take him down. And then it was just like the way that burst happened, I don't even know what happened. It's like he just bursted with some ground and pound and just finished Jalen. But I feel like Jalen made a mistake trying to do knock down
Mark
and
Hunt.
walk away. Yeah, Mark Hunt,
Mm.
like they should have finished it.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't watch as much of that fight because I think I got up late and mistimed it. So that had just finished, but I'd heard about what had occurred, and I thought that was you missed your opportunity, kid. You should have finished your meal, man. you know, finish
Yeah,
your meal.
I don't
Yeah.
know what was going through his head. Um, I don't know. Maybe it
Oh,
might sound spectacular, but Makano
bonus.
didn't look. He didn't look when what's his name, bro?
Hanato.
Renato didn't look finished though. That's why it's like, why would you walk away if he didn't look out cold? He wasn't. It didn't look it.
Mm. Misjudgment on his part, and it cost him dearly. But did you catch what he was saying afterwards, Hanato, on the mic?
Yeah, some of it was a bit difficult, but he was talking about I love the First Amendment. I love America. Joe Rogan wanted me on my podcast.
Oh
Love
yeah.
the armed forces, all that sort of stuff.
He's a very interesting character. I must say so. Wait. Wasn't there somebody else who wanted to be on the podcast? Who was it? Someone else called him out. Wasn't it someone else? Someone else said that, wasn't it?
To be on Morgan's
Was it
podcast.
yeah, was it Yuri or just
I think Yuri said bring him back, I guess.
right? Okay, so there was two people that was like, put me on your podcast.
Renato was saying you come on my podcast. It was like Monday's guest is Joe Rogan. He put him out there. Say you coming
Oh,
on. So
nice,
yeah, he put him
nice.
on there. Listen, he's got some thoughts, man. He's got some political thoughts more than anything. So he's building a brand off
Yeah,
that.
strong on that stuff. I didn't get too much of it, but does it make sense? Like real like pinch of salt from what you heard about him. Does it make sense? is it logical what he's saying politically?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I
Okay,
haven't heard, and the thing is, I've
okay,
just heard minimal things, so I can't really take snippets. I
sure.
don't really know his thought process behind it, so I can't even comment.
Okay, okay. But yeah, interesting guy. I think he's really, really funny, and he just because he's still got a very strong Brazilian accent,
Yeah.
and then he just throws things out. It's really funny.
Yeah, I think it should be. I
Oh
think it
man.
should be. He's fun. He's fun. Let's see. Let's see. And he's building his brand. I think he's exciting.
Yeah, he's
Um,
different. He's very
let's
different.
let's move on. The strawweight, women's strawweight bout. Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Jessica Andrade putting in a barrage of strike. Like with the way she comes in, she's always kind of like looping and very like Vanderlei Silva type looping.
Very vandalic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
aggressive. And she won the fight based, I think, on that. Like I feel like a technical striker, is
Keeps
someone
her
who
up.
comes a bit straightforward and kind of
Yeah,
technically straightforward. Is something that can someone that can neutralize her. But she's always just
yeah.
like very and just for but it worked. I mean, Marina, she overwhelmed Marina and was able to kind of get the win on her.
Mm. Yeah, that's that. I mean, we spoke about it last week or whatever it was. That's her game plan, and I said to you, like, is there any other evolution to her? And obviously, that's what she goes with. Um, stylistically, she fought somebody who she can beat, but like you said, somebody who's got good footwork and can measure distance. We've seen it. This doesn't work, So yeah, good matchup for Andrade, I guess.
Yeah, good matchup for her. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Lightweight bout, man. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Jim Miller being a legend. Well, they're both kind of going to be legends, but Jim Miller being a legend, UFC 100, 200, now 300. Bobby Green, though, looked fantastic, bro. He looked good. Did you see this fight?
No.
He looked fantastic. He always looks good, hands down, slipping, talking, popping the jab and whatnot. But he looked
Mm.
great. He had this thing what he kept on doing was like with his right leg when he had it up front, like front kick followed by a left hook or right punch. Like he had this thing where he was using his front leg a lot. He was doing hook kicks, but he was doing spinning kicks.
Ooh.
Like he was doing this jumping, hopping side kicks to the thigh and like to the body.
Ooh.
Like Bobby Green
Ooh.
looked fantastic, man. He blooded up Jim Miller good, and he looked great. It's like he immediately found his range, his timing, his speed, everything, and
Ooh.
was just not able to. Jim Miller was not able to do anything. Now, Jim Miller did catch him a few times or whatnot, bit of a scramble out, but Bobby Green looked freaking fantastic. That's what I'm saying. Like him, versus a Max
That
Holloway could be fun.
that's
Him versus like I don't know why he never fought Nate Diaz. That's a fun one for them to fight. But Bobby Green looked good. Like he looked really, really, really good. Fun, really
that's
fun.
why that's why you're talking about Max Holloway because of the performance, right? That makes sense now. Okay,
But
okay. Yeah,
he
yeah.
called out Pimlet, and I was like, that's a great fight, actually. That is a brilliant fight, Paddy Pimlet.
Oh,
So
Bobby, please, Bobby, take him out. Please, Bobby, do it.
yes,
Take
yeah.
him
So
out.
I feel like
No.
Paddy Pimlet is a great fight for Bobby Green. So Pimlet is not even ranked in that division, and Bobby Green is number
That's it.
15. So I think that's a great fight. It's a brilliant fight. So
Yeah,
forget about Max Holloway. I think he's right. Go with what Bobby Green wants. Give him Pimlet. I think that's a
yeah.
great fight.
That's a really good call out as well because stylistically they're not wrestlers, right? Even though Paddy can wrestle, but they're stand-up guys. So we'll get a barn burner and hopefully the MMA gods are on our side. We get to see the end of Paddy Pimblett.
Oh wow, wow, wow. It sounds like you don't like him. Hold on a second here. I didn't know the MMA world wants him out.
Oh,
What,
I said the MMA gods, as in, just how a fight turns out. It's just it's up to the MMA gods. Sometimes it's one of them things. Like I don't have anything against him. I just think he hasn't been tested against somebody who can really put it on him. And we've seen what he can. We've seen
I mean, I know Tony
what
Ferguson's on a
he's
down,
achieving.
I know,
Yeah.
but I
Who?
mean, Tony
Ferguson.
Ferguson, I know he's on a down, But he did beat him. He
Well,
did beat him.
huh? How do you mean? Oh,
Pimlet,
right.
Pimlet.
Yeah, but no, man, Ferguson don't count, man. Like we know that if Ferguson in prime, Paddy's never gonna survive anything against prime Tony Ferguson. Impossible.
No,
Impossible.
of course. But I know
Not
Paddy came
possible.
in thinking that he was the shit. There was a lot of hype. He put a lot of hype around him, and he was talking about he could beat Khabib and all that. It's like, chill out, right?
Hey,
But yeah, he was saying all that sort of stuff. But it's like, chill out.
fair.
But like, he's still fun. Grappling wise, I mean, he's not known as well. Yeah, he's got no submissions like and whatnot, man. He's actually pretty good grappling. But I think Bobby Green will be a fun fight with him.
It will be. Like I said, I got nothing against him. I just wanna see somebody like, just beat him up a little bit.
Could be Bobby. Could be Bobby to do it.
Could, could be
We'll,
Bobby.
we'll,
Could be
we'll
Bobby.
see, man. We'll see how that goes. All
Yeah.
right, let's finish off, man, with the first fight of the night. And it was a great fight, man. Davis and Figueiredo fighting Cody Garbrandt, a fight that these guys were supposed to do for the longest time together. Made it happen. They both look good. Cody looked fast. He looked good, but Davison, he belongs in this division, man. He looked good. He's got his cardio there. He was able to take Cody down and finish him off. You know what I mean? Like, I feel it was a rear naked choke at the end, right? Just grappled him
Yeah.
and grappled him and
Yeah.
finished
Yeah.
him.
Got his back. Yeah. I thought it would have been a knockout from Figueiredo. I felt like that would have been what it was, but yeah, I mean, Figueiredo spent a good amount of time depleting himself being in flyweight, right? Before.
Mm-hmm.
So, you get like a whole different fighter when they're fighting, when they're able to compete in their natural weight. It's night and day almost, we can only imagine what they have to go through and what they lose, um, you know, in comparison to when they're training. Of course, it's not full out, but you're feeling good in comparison to being fully depleted of all of your vitamins and all your nutrients and going in the skit to weigh in and whatnot. We don't realize what's missing from them when they compete, and we're beginning to see it with people like Sterling who went up, people like, I mean, Max would have to cut a hell of a lot of weight, but now he's put on weight, and we're seeing maybe a different version of Max. Let's see, right? And then obviously, um, with Figueiredo, we're seeing a different, maybe, of course, there's more to come, but we're seeing somebody who doesn't have to deplete anything and fight at their comfortable weight. So, yeah,
It always seems like recently, especially like the individual that's gone up has put on a great fight. So Volk
I
versus
was gonna
Islam, Max
say that.
Holloway,
Yeah, yeah,
Figueredo, Aljamain say. But when you go the opposite, what comes to mind is like Edson Barbosa. Like, he was a top level lightweight, sorry. When you went
right.
down, didn't really do much at featherweight.
Yeah,
Frankie Edgar's lightweight, smashed it. One of the best, beat BJ Penn and everything. Came
right.
down, wasn't able to do
Didn't,
as
yeah,
much. And I
didn't
know
convey right.
they
Yeah,
got further in their careers, but it's kind of like when you go down further in your career, I think it's what Jose Aldo, another one. But
yeah,
going up, it just seems like it just makes more sense. They're less depleted and
it
what.
does.
But it just
Yeah,
feels like, it always feels like, I think the visuals is like, oh, wait, he was a featherweight, you're going up to lightweight, them guys are bigger. But technically, they kind of weigh possibly around the same-ish, around
yeah,
there, like outside of
yeah,
fight. And then,
yeah.
then they will both just go
Deplete.
down together. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 exactly that. It's true, but I mean, it makes sense, isn't it? Like, you're losing, you're just losing so much more when you drop down weight. That it's inevitable, Like, I don't. There's not many. Can you think of think of a contender who dropped down weight and won the belt?
I think of who dropped down and won the belt. I mean, I was just, I can't off the top of my head, to be honest.
No, I
I
don't
I
think
mean,
so
what's his
either.
name? Pereira. I mean, he started off at middleweight. I technically didn't drop. I don't know if you could say he dropped because he started at middleweight, but he's a light heavyweight, to be honest with you. But he went down. But I don't know. I can't think of anything on top of my head.
Mm. Well, that's the thing about like from what I remember, everyone who's dropped down weight to compete, like TJ Dillashaw, um, is another name of mine. I can't remember who it is, but it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. It
Yeah,
doesn't
because the
work.
idea
It's
is like, oh, I'm gonna be bigger for the division, but they're just depleting yourself
no,
anyway.
yeah, yeah, you're weakening yourself for that division, and
More
then
like because you got to think about it, the division that they start off, they already depleting themselves because they're like, oh, that's a good one for me to get into, but I'm already
yeah,
depleting myself, and now you're trying to
right,
go even more. It's
even
like,
lower. It doesn't convey well, and now we're seeing the opposite, and you know we're seeing more positive results. No one, I haven't seen anyone win yet a belt. I guess
I think
Pereira,
George St.
yeah,
Pierre went up and won the belt, and it was just one fight. I
okay,
know against Bisping, but it was very strategic. He done it.
fair point, but
Just
it's not a lot,
yeah.
not a lot, not
Um,
yet, not yet, not
Not
yet,
yet,
not yet,
not yet, not
not
yet,
yet.
not yet.
But we are
Uh,
seeing 2024 a whole lot of people going up in weight, change, and it's a whole movement this year. Have you noticed it? It's a big movement.
yeah, yeah. And it makes
Mm,
things fun in two divisions, actually. When you got
very
Max
much.
Holloway just top of the
Yeah,
chain at two divisions, you're like, oh, that's so fun. Like, you know?
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does because I remember we were saying a while ago, what's Max gonna do? He can't beat Volkanovski. He's the best in that division, but he just can't get the gold again. What's he gonna do? And remember, he said, "Well, he should just have fun fights." All right, well now Volkanovski's not champion anymore. He just had one of the best fights in UFC history, and now you can go get the belt, possibly,
yeah.
and continue doing whatever you want to do. So incredible.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll wait and see. But yeah, listen, I feel like
Yeah,
this is the first time in a while that we brought down a whole card. Because the whole card from beginning to end was amazing.
was
Great night of fights, man. I mean, just so
ridiculous.
exciting, man. So
Ridiculous.
exciting. But yeah, man. I mean, look, that's. I know we talked a lot today. I'm gonna go break my fast. I'm still fasting because I'm just keeping an extra six. If you keep an extra six
Oh,
within the next month, it's like equivalent in regards to rewards for the whole year. Just a spiritual thing with religion and whatnot. So that's why I'm gonna go
nice.
break. Yeah, so I'm doing that. But
What are
bro,
you gonna eat?
listen. Nothing. Going back to the healthy stage. I'm gonna have some eggs and some shake, and the missus is making a salmon, broccoli something. So I want to eat some junk food,
Some
but
dirt.
yeah, because I've been off training for a couple of weeks. I not couple. Yeah, I went on vacation. I've been off training. I've been eating crap. I mean, well,
How was the
crap, but
food, man?
yeah,
Sorry to
yeah,
cut you. Was it
yeah.
what I thought it was? Like lamb and coming off the
Lots
bone?
of meat and beef. No, not like that, but lots of meat and beef and whatnot.
Good,
So yeah, it's good. It's nice. I mean, it was good. I mean, I've been eating good, pull it out. I've been enjoying myself with food.
good, man.
But I need to get back on track. Training, my
Yeah.
gym membership's run out, so I need to go back next week and join. I won't have time this week, but it's just typical Dubai, man. They've increased the price by like £250 for the year, and I'm like 25%. So I mean, the thing is, it's still cheap. Like when I say cheap for that kind of gym, it's still reasonable. But I'm kind of like, guys, can you explain why it's gone up by 25% at least? Such a big increase to increase it by out of the blue. Anyway, so I need to sort that out and get back into training next week. But this week,
Mm,
I think I wanted to go training, like do some runs and whatnot, but because of the rain, because of the leak and the house breaking down, I'm just like all over it. And you get back into work after 10 days off work. It's very just been very overwhelming the
manic.
last 2 days. Very
Yeah.
over. I've had a lot of anxiety and whatnot, just because so much to do, and trying to just get through the week, to be honest with you, and trying to start fresh from next
Mm,
week. But almost there. Thursday's tomorrow. I got no course
yeah.
tonight, which is great, so I can go relax after this. Um, so yeah,
Nice,
man.
solid.
Yeah. But listen, I'm glad
Mm.
that we did this. I know this was late, but we had to be done. One, it's good to just at least geek out with you about the fights, to relieve some
Oh
anxiety that I've got.
my
And two,
God.
like we had to talk about this, regardless if it's late. We have to talk
We
about it and give our
had,
thoughts, man. So
yeah, we had to talk about it. I know I said, oh, the hype would be gone, but then I remember looking at something and realizing like I haven't talked to anybody about none of these fights. Nope, the hype is still there.
yeah, exactly. The hype's still there, man. The hype's still there, but there's lots to it's just such a fun. It was an amazing card, bro.
It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe that they managed to. It's it's arguably the best card that they've ever thrown, right? Arguably,
I think so. I think so.
arguably the best card they ever thrown. I mean, I know that we all thought that we were going to probably get Connor last minute, or I don't know, Nate Diaz, just some random like marquee person out of nowhere. But it didn't matter. We got some supreme elite fighters all on one card. Everybody made weight. Everybody showed up. Oh man, it was like
That's a good
wow.
point. That's a good point, real quick. Everybody made weight. There was no injuries, no cancellations of fights. I mean, how amazing did this one just work out to be? I mean, Dana must be happy. And the fights were all great. So many finishes, so many great fights. From the first fight, from the Bobby Green fight, everything was just like amazing, all the way to the end with Max
Mm.
Holloway and Justin Gaethje. No fight disappointed. Even with Aljamain, people might want to cuss him. I don't think that fight disappointed, in my opinion. I think he implemented the correct game plan,
He
and I'm down
did
with
his
that.
job. Yeah, he did his same fight he had when he became like the most coveted bantamweight champion, right? When he defended it against Cejudo. That was his third defense or second, and it made him like one of the best bantamweight champions of all time, or whatever it was. It wasn't a pretty fight, but he did what he had to do. That's it.
Exactly, exactly. You gotta respect that, man. I mean, I respect that. I love MMA, I love UFC, I love the spectacle, I love the knockouts, I love the fun fights. But you have to, for me, I have to respect the martial arts. I have to respect from a
Game plan.
self-defense perspective and the game plan and the strategy and
Yeah,
what's your
yeah.
strength versus someone else, and forgetting about trying to entertain people when that can put your career or that can put your health in jeopardy. Why?
Nah, man. Like I think I really like Aljo. I think he got a bad rap when that whole thing happened with Petr
That's
Yan,
what
and
it was.
he
That's what
leaned
it was, I
into it.
think.
Yeah, and then he leaned into it and started showing the belt around. I think the fans, which I mean, even recently, I've just realized the fans have a lot of voice more than I initially realized. Like they speak loudly, and they were the ones that were cussing him down and whatnot. And then he showed who he is and everything. He's a great competitor. Like a lot of these guys here, I often forget how great they are because the noise is so loud from the critics. And then you think, you sometimes believe this. Like, kind of forget that this person's that great. Like Jamal Hill, I was like, oh man, this guy's annoying because oh shit, he's a great fighter. Like I've forgotten. You know. So yeah, man, gotta quiet out the
At the
noise.
end of the day, I say this, me and Kip say this about the movies and shit that we watch. F the critics, man. You have to be the
Yeah,
judge on what you like, who you like.
facts,
This has to be you. Why do you have to listen
facts.
to everyone else? You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
you make the judge of who you like, what films you like, the
facts.
fighters, whatever it is. Always going to be the
Yeah,
case. And even
yeah,
if the whole world is like, no, it's so shit, or that fighter's so shit, and you're like, I kind of like him. You are entitled to like him or her
yeah.
or the film or whatever it is.
Absolutely. And I feel like everybody always used to like Goku in Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, no, no, no. I like Vegeta because he's a bad motherfucker. And at any given moment, an M's going to appear in his head. He's going to nuke a crowd of people. And, so yeah, definitely.
And listen, we're all like that, you know. I was like that for the longest time, neglecting Naruto because I was a Dragon Ball guy. So stupid. Just watch Naruto. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're a Dragon Ball guy? Just watch the other one. Like, still like Dragon Ball. Just watch the other one. It's a stupid argument, but it happens. It happens.
I, I was the same dude. It it took me to buy the video game of was it Naruto: The Way of the Ninja on 360. It took for me to get that game to then go and watch the rest of the show because I was like, no, 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 no one's beating Goku and Vegeta. Like fuck that shit. Like there's nothing can compete with that. And I watched that. I watched the show a little bit, stopped it, played the game, and saw when the third got no the third Hokage got killed, and Akatsuki came, and I was like, streaming site. Immediately after that, and I never looked back. So yeah, man.
It's a silly thing that we do as humans, but we do it. We're very tribal, we're very whatever it is, like, oh,
Habitual.
I like that. But it's silly, but it's part of being human, I guess. I guess it's an element of being human. On that note, bro, I need to go break my fast. It was good to
Yeah,
catch
man.
up, guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all the love, support, and all that good stuff. And keeping up with what me and Kay was talking about fights. Appreciate that you appreciate our perspectives. On that note, we out. Peace.